Right, so today we're going to make this envelope book, and it is honestly so simple but really kind of fun. I'm going to dip the camera down just slightly so you can see. Well, can you see? I don't know. So this is the sample I made for the photo, and I put inside, and it folds closed like this. And I decided to put inside my little envelope book. Let's just put this right down here. Let me just focus it 1 second. Bear with me. There we go. I decided to put these tags in here, and these started out as plain shipping tags, and then I sorry, I'm just getting the camera thing out of the way. I put distress inks on them and did a little bit of stamping on there. So I decided to fill the envelope spots with tags. And let me show you another one I made. Oh, let me just actually, well, I'll show you that in a second. I added something this morning that wasn't visible. So here's another one I made. This was from a larger piece of paper. This was like a 12 by 19 piece of paper, and it's a I don't think Leanne Meadows is on this call. I don't see her, but anyway, if Leanne is here, Leanne does beautiful paste paper, and she sent me some paste paper in a swap we did, so I made one using her paste papers. So it's the front. Then I added a little closure. You can see here this. So, and for this one I intend to make some little cards that slide in sideways, and I'll show you that in a minute. So that's one made from paste paper. And then I glued on a little tab on the back, and then made a slit on the front. There we go. Like that. So that's what I'm going to show you today. Like I say, it's really pretty straightforward. I'm going to demo it on a piece of plain white drawing paper first, so that you can see what I'm doing, and then I'll do it again on a piece of printed paper. But often it's easier to see on a white piece of paper. And this is just a piece of drawing paper. Oops, sorry, piece of drawing paper. And for this, because we're folding in all sorts of directions, you don't need to worry about the grain. In terms of weight, I quite like this sort of drawing weight paper. This was a sort of a thinner decorative paper, and it was nice to work with. And this was like an 80-pound text weight paper. This is also 80-pound. If you go very thick, if you use a watercolor paper, you're going to find these folds quite hard. They're definitely possible. This fold here actually is going to be quite difficult because you've got quite a few pieces of paper to fold. So I would stick to sort of a decent text weight paper, if that makes sense. I'm going to just check your comments. So Mandy says it's very soothing to dull the needle points on a fine grit sharpening stone. Hi Barbara. Okay, so let me just, I'm going to oh, only 30% of you are still in your jammies. Well, for heaven's sake. Okay, I'm impressed. I'm going to move the camera down so that you can see nice and clearly, hopefully. Here we go. There we are. Let's get us focused. So, oh, I think it's pretty focused actually. Just see, I have to write down everything that I'm going to talk about, because otherwise I get off track. So let me just make sure that's focused. Oh, good Lord, you need a very steady hand. Okay, there we go. All right, so in order to make our little envelope book like this, we need, you can use a square piece of paper, but rectangular is easier, I think. And we're going to divide this short side by 3 into 3 pieces. So just because I'm lazy and I don't like doing math, I like to make this edge here sort of divisible by 3. So 9, 12, 15, 18, something like that. In this case, obviously if you don't mind, or you could get your dividers out if you wanted to. But this is the kind of book that, like, when you want to make it, you want to make it. So I'm just going to mark in 3 places on this short edge so that I can score it into thirds. Okay, so I'm going to score along here and along here. So this is 12 inches, and this, I mean, this, beg pardon, this is 9 inches, beg pardon. So I marked at 3 and 6. Okay, so we're going to have score lines here and here. This long side is the 12 inch. I like to use the back of my knife. What do they call this? It's a cobbler's knife. But you could use your bone folder or a stylus, or, you know, whatever else you like. And I'm scoring along here. I'm doing it sideways so my lines aren't exactly perfect, but that's okay. So you probably can't see, but let me fold them. There we go. 3 pieces, just like this. I'm going to go in with my bone folder, and I'm going to do it both ways, just because with these folded books, I find it easier to fold and bone fold in both directions. And then we're going to go the other way. We're going to join the 2 short sides together very carefully, like this, like that, so it's in half. Open it up. I'm just going to do it the other side, so our creases are nice and flexible. Open it up, and then I'm going to bring the short side to the center. So basically, when we're done, we will have 12. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, 12. I told you math isn't my thing. You'll have 12 like scored sections. Bring this short edge to the center. Being as careful as you can. Morning, Elizabeth. Morning, Karen from Green Bay. Let's do it the other way. So if you're just joining me, we're making the envelope book, which looks like this. I'm demoing on white paper, so hopefully it's a little easier to see than on the patterned paper. Okay, so we have scored in thirds along this way, and then into 4 sections this way. So we have 12 little squares. We are going to cut, oh gosh, can I remember? Oh yeah, I do remember. You don't need to mark this with a pencil, but I'm just going to mark it so that you can see. I'm going to cut right here and right here. Okay, so tell you something, that ruler's really loud. Okay, I'm going to cut right along this middle line with my knife, along this line with my knife. Just 2 little cuts. You see that okay? Like that. So a slit here and a slit here. Good. Let me just check, make sure everyone's okay. Yep, everyone's, I think, on track. All right, so I'm just going to twist myself round Now we're going to fold in lots of triangles. We're going to fold in this corner to here. When you're folding these triangles, you want this edge, make sure this doesn't go over this score line here. So just put it up to just up to that score line. You do the same this side. Sometimes these corners meet, but don't worry if they don't. It doesn't matter. You just want to make the most important part is getting this line here up to, but not beyond, this vertical score line. Okay. Do the same on the other side. Fold this over. Remember, up against this score line here is what you need to focus on. Don't worry about getting, you see there's a gap there, and that's perfectly fine. It's this score line here that you've got to worry, so that we can fold this over easily. Okay, let's do the same on the other side. Hopefully you can see this, it's in the camera, okay? You're awfully quiet in the chat. Heavens. You can chat with each other, you know. It seems like quite a few of you know one another, either locally or from across the country, or just online, right? Okay. All right, that's not exactly my best work right there. I got distracted looking at the comments. I think you get the idea though. You fold in all those corners. I ripped a little bit there. Then I want you to bring these in here like this. To bring that in there, and that in there like that. Okay, and then we're going to fold here and make sort of a 4-page accordion almost. This outwards, fold this in like this. So do you see, like here, this is quite thick, so the thicker your paper, the sort of harder it will be to bone fold there. You have your little book. Oops. Keep taking it off camera, don't I? So that is with a 9x12 piece of paper. So this wound up shrinking down to a 3x3. So that's quite a cute size. And then when I did the larger book, I think a 12x19, you know, this came to like 4 3/4 by 4. So obviously the bigger the paper, the bigger the final book, and vice versa. Would you like me to show you again using my patterned paper? Let me know in the comments. Mandy says she can't fold and type. Can't chat working, says Connie. Oh, you're too funny. Hi, DJ. Would you like me to show you with one more piece of paper? I can do. So in terms of the paper you choose, I really like doing paste papers. You know, this was not double-sided, but you only see like these little white parts, and then this one here was not double-sided, although the, you know, the tags cover it up, so you see this kind of creamy background. So you may want to consider what papers you choose. So this is plain on the back, but this one, I think I just scraped. I think this is from my Berea from when I was doing jelly prints. You want me to show you again? Yes, please. Okay. So I could do this one, but I think I'm going to do the double-sided one. This has got a torn edge. I could, you know what? I will trim that up briefly. So this was, I don't even know what this was. This was like a jelly print gone wrong. And then I was talking with Kelly Warren at the weekend, and she was saying how much she loves using stencils and spray paint. So at the weekend I got out the spray paint and some stencils, and I was spray painting in the garden. So this is what resulted. And then these, you know, it was just like a scrap, or like a fail, as it were. So so this is 9 inches. So let's measure in 3 places again. So at 3 and 6, at 3 and 6. So obviously if this was longer, or wider should I say, you would divide whatever that number is by 3. I'm just using the dull edge of my knife. If you're just joining us, we're making an envelope book. I'm scoring this in 3 places along the short side. Ooh, there we go. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how this double-sided paper works out. And I'm going to fold in and fold in. And then I'm going to do it both sides. I love these bright colours. Just what I need today. It's rainy and grey. So we have our thirds lengthways. Now we're going to fold in half, short side to short side. My dog is barking because she wants to go out, but I'm not letting her out because then she'll just bark to come in. Who here has pets who just like drive them crazy? I certainly do, although I wouldn't be without her, of course. And then I'm going to bring the short side into the center again so that it is divided into 4. Short side to the center, bone fold both sides. Short side to the center. So this is another example of a book where the piece of paper that you start out with really needs to be sort of cut at 90 degrees. That's why it's easy just to use one from a pad of paper so that it's been cut by a machine. But if you had a large piece of paper and you were cutting it down, you want to make sure that all your angles are at 90 degrees. Okay, so remember we're going to do the cuts. I can't remember where they go. Where do they go? Where do the cuts go? Oh, that's right. They go right here and right here. So you can't see as well, but there's 12 sort of squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And the cuts are going to go in the center. Folds right here. So if you are having trouble seeing that, I'm going to grab a pen and just mark it, just to make sure that you can really see it. Don't do this in real life. It's right here, right here. That's where my slits are. Okay, you could even go in with scissors if you didn't want to use your knife. These scissors, by the way, are from the dollar store. I have a whole bunch of them. They're so useful for like cutting paper and stuff, and you just, get rid of them after a while. Although honestly, I've had these for ages. Okay, here we have our book. So I need to decide what I want on the outside, what I want on the inside. I'm going to have this stenciled one on the outside, so I want to have the inside facing up towards me. Okay, when I do this, I'm just going to make sure these folds are nice and firm before I start folding. There we go. Okay, so remember we fold in the all the corners to sort of these center points, making sure that it lines up. They line up with these vertical lines right here. The trouble is it's hard to see when the book is got paint on it or a pattern. You have to kind of put it in front of the window so you can see those score lines. There we go. I do really like this stenciled paper. It's a really good idea of Kelly's. If you're in the Handmade Book Club, and if you're not, don't worry, you can add your name to the wait list. If you're in the book club, we have our live call on Sunday, and Kelly will be talking about her art journals. She's an avid art journaler, and they're so bright and so fun. So she's going to do, she's going to show us her journals and give us a few tips on how to get started. So I'm folding in all my corners to form these little triangles, making sure that they line up with this score line here and this score line right here, and that they don't go over it. Nice and careful. Bone folding as I go. So it looks like this. Fold in those large triangles to create that. Fold in this triangle. Fold in this triangle. So you have this. Oh, that is quite tricky to bone fold, I will say. There we go. And then fold this one back. Nice. So there is the finished 3x3 book, and then when you open it up, that is the inside. Actually, let's do it this way, so if we wanted to put tags in here, we could. Let me show you what I did on this book. I decided to get my sewing machine and sew along here. Honestly, this holds up just peachy. We don't really need to do any sewing, but I decided to get my sewing machine out. Let's get rid of these little tags, cute as they are. I got my sewing machine out and I machine sewed along here and along here, and I left my threads because I love having thread showing. It just makes it a little more stable, although it's totally unnecessary. You could also glue, but it would be tricky, I think. I really like the idea of sewing along those center points. And if you're just joining us, this book I made with paste paper. I added a little closure on the back and put a slit right here and slid, you can slide the closure through like that. That is an option. And then next week I will show you how to make a bigger one with signatures in. Let me just give you one more tip. You can, I should have done this ahead of time, naughty me. You can also make little short little tags to go in here. Let me just quickly make one, and then I'll answer any of your questions. I'm going to use this as a template. It looks like this is a good size. Let me just quickly cut this. If you have any questions, let me know, and then in next Thursday's video I'll show you how to make them into sort of a double pamphlet stitch book. So I'm taking another piece of, well, this is a piece of paste paper. I'm going to make myself little pockets to go in here. So let's trim that up. Not pockets, little tabs. Make it a little bit shorter. Little cards to go in here. And something that you could do is grab a circle punch and make a little tab for that. So we fold that in half, and we trusty Target glue sticks. It's back to school season, folks. Put that little circular tab there, and then you can do 4 of these and pop them in here like that. So you'd pop one in here, one in here, one in here. So these would be little little somethings to put notes on. See that? Also covers up the inside if it's plain. So you can make little hidden notes or quotes or journaling or photographs or whatever takes your fancy. But obviously it's only going to be the width of one of these squares.